Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Making It in Holland. If you're new here, welcome, so nice to have you. Today I thought to come on and make a video about some of the reasons why you should not move to the Netherlands. Quick disclaimer, by no means do I dislike living here, by no means do I have anything particularly against Dutch people or the Dutch culture. If anything, I'm a fan because, well, I'm still here and I'm repping the orange t-shirt. So just to let you know that nothing in this video is intended in an ill-mannered way. These are just some of my personal opinions and some personal observations that I've been doing over the last couple of years. But having said that, if you have any other thoughts, if you agree with what I'm saying or if you disagree with what I'm saying, feel free to comment down in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. According to the latest statistics of the CPB, the Central Planbureau, in 2020, an average person earns a median salary of around 36,000 euros. Now, when you think about that, it's really not that much money, and that equals to around 2,800 per month. But mind you, this is all before tax, and when the taxes are taken into account, you're left with 2,200 euros per month to actually fulfill all your living expenses here in the Netherlands. And when I say that everybody relatively earns the same amount of money, I'm really not over exaggerating. Let's take a look at an example. If you're a taxi driver, anywhere between 1 to 3 years of experience, you're going to be making around 24,000 per year. And if you're a junior architect with anywhere between 1 to 3 years of experience, you're also going to be making anywhere as low as 24,000 to maybe 28,000. So when you look at that, the salary gap is not really that big, and at the end of the day, everybody takes home a salary that's relatively the same every single month. Although, don't get me wrong, there are several jobs here that pay you really well, and I made a video about that, so please check that out if you're interested in some of the higher salary jobs here in the Netherlands. But remind you that the higher you earn, the higher the tax bracket that's going to be applying to you, which means at the end of the day, your take-home pay is not going to be as high as it would be, for example, if you were living somewhere like the States. The highest tax bracket currently, as I'm filming this in 2020, is 49.5%, but basically just think about that as 50%. So if you make a lot of money, you're paying half of that in taxes to the government, which it's not really what you want to be doing if you want to be getting rich. Am I right? And here I also want to mention a lot of people want to move here because of the 30% ruling, which means 30% of your salary is not going to get taxed. However, as of 2019, this rule only applies for a maximum of 5 years, and after that, you're just going to be paying taxes like everyone else here. So don't have these illusions that when you move to the Netherlands, you're automatically going to be extremely rich, because that's not always the case. The second reason why you should not move to the Netherlands is if you're uncomfortable being a minority and if you're not willing to grow thick skin to deal with things like xenophobia, occasional racism, and passive-aggressive commentary. Now, by no means am I trying to actually imply here that all Dutch people are like this, but just as in any country, you have some good people and you have some less good people, and it's just better to prepare yourself for the possibility of facing such things when you move here, especially if you're from a non-EU country. Believe it or not, on some days I do receive the occasional xenophobic comments, and the prime example of this is this YouTube channel. If you go back to some of my previous videos and scroll down in the comments, you're going to see that I had to deal with some people explaining to them that although I am from Turkey, I have no ill intentions, and even though I am from Turkey, I'm not in this country solely because of the fact that I can earn more money here or solely because of the fact that there is a better life here. For example, I used to get, and I still very much to this day get comments like, oh, you're from Turkey, how come you speak so good English? Oh, I thought you were from America, you don't even really look Turkish. Oh, your dad has blue eyes, Turkish people have blue eyes? Or things like, one of my ex-colleagues said to me, oh, there is this Turkish Dutch entrepreneur here, she moved from Turkey several years ago. She was really poor, and when she moved here, she became wealthy and famous. And you know what that means for you? Now that you've moved from Turkey to the Netherlands, that means you're also going to have to get famous. Well, you know what, guys? If I wanted to get famous, I could have done that in Turkey, I could have done it in China, I could have done that in the States, I could have done that in any part of the world, but instead, I choose to be here on YouTube and be a celebrity for all my 1,000 subscribers here. And by the way, thank you so much for that. There is going to be a subscriber special coming up very soon. The third reason why you should not move here is a very, very over-discussed one. And yes, I'm talking about the weather. Now, where do I even begin to talk about the Dutch weather? Right now, as I'm filming this, it's end of July. So you would associate that with very hot weather, you could go swim, you could go get a tan, but as you can see, I am still very pale and it's semi-cloudy outside as I'm filming this. So if you want to move here because you want to enjoy this great hot weather, please don't do it. And if you want to move here and if you want to enjoy every single season as they come, reconsider again, because here in winter, it can be like summer, autumn, spring all in one day. And then here in summer, it could like snow, rain, and be summer and windy all in one day. So the weather is very, very unpredictable. But here, I want to share with you my best friend ever that I feel like everybody should have if you're going to adapt to the Dutch lifestyle. And that is my beautiful Senzo umbrella. These are amazing and they're windproof. They are like heavy rain, heavy droplet proof. I have the like super long version that also doubles as self-defense, but I highly recommend getting one of these guys. Ideally one that's like this, because if you get a cheaper one, it's going to break. Or go with the same brand and buy one of the foldable ones, because it is what it is. You're going to have to deal with the weather here, and you might as well do it in style, having an amazing umbrella that you know is never going to break. I really want to mention here that when I was studying here in high school, I went to an American school, and by default, all of my friends were international, and within that group, there were also Dutch friends whom I love and I still keep in touch with. But that is an exception, because those Dutch friends of mine were also very much international and used to the idea of changing countries every couple of years. So it was much easier for me to relate to them and them with me and us to become friends. Whenever I came back from UK after completing my degrees to study my master's here, I realized how difficult it is within the functioning normal Dutch world to actually penetrate a completely Dutch-speaking friend group. Now, to give you an example, when I was studying architecture at Eindhoven University of Technology, all of my colleagues who were Dutch would leave the studio 5 sharp on a Friday, go back home where they have their lifelong friends, their high school friends, and people that they actually grew up with, to spend the weekend with them, party with them, and then come back to university on a Monday to go through the school day. And if they see you on the corridor or if you have lunch with them, you have a couple of exchanges, but you know that by the time 5 p.m. rolls around, they're going to go back to their friends, especially on Friday nights. So if you're not willing to suffer the fact that it's going to be difficult for you to immediately integrate into the society, you might now want to move to the Netherlands. But if you're okay with having international friends here and eventually adapt to the Dutch culture and slowly make Dutch friends, then by all means, welcome. My fifth point is don't move to the Netherlands if you're an extremely driven, career-oriented person who is driven by earning loads and loads of money. Now, my friends, if you move here and you have the 30% ruling in the first 5 years, you're probably going to have a very comfortable life. But as those years go by one, and if you're looking after those big promotions that are going to come with those hefty paychecks, Netherlands is not really the country for you. Because here, after even proving yourself and being the best employee ever, after 1 whole year, 2, 3, maybe 5 whole years, the amount of promotion salary you're going to have is going to be much less than you would get in some other countries for the same equivalent position. So this is very important to keep in mind. Okay, it's all great. In the beginning, you have that tax bracket, but as time goes on, are you really going to be happy and satisfied here when you see that your results are not actually seen by the monetary compensation that they deserve? And the last reason why you might not want to move to the Netherlands is if you want to live a lifestyle of luxury. If you're coming from a very big country like the United States, where it's all about the American dream, the big house, the flashy cars, the high-end garden, and all these garages, you're going to be disappointed with the way the Dutch actually live so modestly. Here, every single square meter counts, and typically you don't get a very big house, let alone garages, let alone parking spots. More often than not, you even have to pay for your own parking spots because the Dutch government simply doesn't want you to actually have your own car, because they have sustainability goals that they're working towards, and they're trying to encourage you to take public transport as much as possible. So reconsider your expectations when you're moving here. You're going to probably start off having a smaller, much more modest house. If you're going to be renting, having a lot of housemates is very common, and you're probably not going to have a dishwasher. You're probably not going to have your washer, especially a dryer. That's definitely a luxury if you have all 3 in one space. So definitely it's worth mentioning here to realistically assess your expectations, because here houses are small, lifestyle is expensive, especially if you want to go down the luxury route, and more importantly, it's just important to tell you to really just genuinely have realistic expectations. So that was it for this week's episode. I hope I managed to give you some pointers if you're looking to move to the Netherlands to help with your decision. Like I said, it's my job here on this channel to provide a balanced view as much as possible. And if you want to look at some of the reasons why you should move to the Netherlands, make sure to check out the video that's going to be popping up right this second. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I upload videos once a week, sometimes twice, if I feel like it. And thank you so much for tuning in this week, and I will see you next time. And until then, don't forget to stay awesome.